correct? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Finish Wednesday. It is that time of night, that time of week, almost. It is Thursday night, but if you're new here, you'll figure it out real quick. Every Wednesday night, except for tonight, which is Thursday, we're here tying live, saying hey to everyone and chatting, answering questions. Sometimes we're going over fly tying techniques, sometimes we're going over a specific fly pattern, but tonight, we're going to start tying with some Polish quills or stripped peacock quills. We'll talk about those and go over some techniques on that. What's up, Chris? Good to see you on here tonight. On the other side of the mic, we've got my wife, Katie. She's going to be dropping and saying hey every now and then. So,
hey, everybody.
So there's little Katie. I figured I'd get a prop here if I could find one somewhat handy.
Thanks for watching us on Thursday.
Yeah, we're finished Thursday, or maybe we'll call it Tied Up Thursday. Maybe that's what it'll be. What's up, Patrick? Nice to see you on here. And James.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year for sure. So we do apologize about last minute cancellation for last night, but we are here. What's up, Keisha? Beautiful sunset or sunrise you sent me this morning, and Steve and Mike, and now everyone's getting on. Jimmy, and Happy New Year, Mr. Harris.
And you saw a beautiful sunset last night.
Yes, there was a beautiful sunset on the way to the hospital last night. It was quite nice.
True.
Hello from the mountaintop. What's up, Mark, Mr. Chasing Feathers?
Are we going to talk about some of the flies that were tied this past week?
Sure. So a couple weeks ago, we tied one of Charlie Craven's pattern, the Poison Tongue, and you guys, I did a terrible job of sharing them, and I'll get to it and share them later on this week. But Katie's got some of them ready to show everyone tonight. But Poison Tongue was a pretty cool pattern that we tied up. And one of you all, I can't remember who, one of you all have already caught a fish on it this year. And we caught a fish on it this year. So here's some of the ones that were submitted. Sculpin Group, Jimmy Roop, Christine Gonzalez with those trio of beauties. I believe that is Ed.
That's Ed.
Surfer Dad. And Bill Brashears, that's some good looking. I like how Bill does his with the it's not different, but his collar, that dubbing's nice tight dubbing ball there. It's that one looks really nice. And same thing with Don Bishop's. That's
really nice.
Those are El Perfecto. And the one that I caught, I can't remember who that one is.
That one is
Yeah. Raise your hand if that's you. Bill, you just missed your fly.
That one is Patrick something.
It might be Patrick Smith.
Yeah, Patrick Smith.
Patrick Smith, yeah. And he's on here. Good job, Patrick. Bill and Matt and Steve, those are some good looking flies. But but I like how Patrick and Bill and a lot of you guys made that dubbing collar nice and tight. Not too much, not bigger than the bead, and those wire wraps look good. But the one that I caught that rainbow on that Katie showed a picture of, or have you shown a picture of it yet? That was on the size 22 with that 0.1.
Not yet, but okay. I just want to tell everybody, good job. I taught you all well.
Yes, Katie did do a phenomenal job on that. But the one we caught, the one on this weekend, was a size 22 with that 0.1 millimeter wire. And there it is. It was about a 15-inch rainbow or so. So that one, that was a cool looking.
It was fun.
It was a beautiful white. If you see that the dorsal fin there, or the pectoral fin, that was either a wild rainbow or it had been stocked for a long time. That was caught in the tailwaters of South Holston. So they do stock there, but that is not a fresh stocker. That one's been there a while. So pretty cool fish. Thank you, Nan.
Hey, guy.
Patrick, you're right. Katie was a great teacher. We'll have to get her back on here to show some more of her mad skills.
Oh, thanks, guys. Y'all are so sweet.
But and I can't, if you're on here, if you caught the one, Off you on New Year's Eve. Mike, was that you that posted the picture? If you did, tag us, or maybe you just sent me a picture because I want to share that picture as well. I couldn't find it when Katie and I were looking for these for the ones we did.
And we made some friends when we went fishing.
And Levi, is that?
Yes.
Is that Levi that we met?
It might have been
Virginia.
Yes, that's what I was just saying. We met a friend when we went fishing.
Yep.
Out on the road, and it was pretty cool. So
cool.
If that's you, Levi, hey, thanks for watching.
It's good to see you. And you're in that Jeep, I believe. So awesome. So Fred, it's good to see you hopping on here too. So strip peacock quills. While we're talking about this, the strip peacock quills is you take peacock quill, you take the eye of it, and you don't even have to strip them. You can just take these the fibers from the eye, and you can wrap them, and they'll have a little hurl on them. They're pretty cool, not stripped. But dadgummit, someone didn't tell me to go live on Instagram. There we go. Now we're live on Instagram. Whew.
Gary's not on here.
Oh, Gary's been super busy. So what they do is they'll either use a bleach solution or a pencil eraser, or
those guys.
Us tires can make a bleach solution. There's some YouTube videos on that. Or you just use an eraser and you take one of the quills here and strip it off. Let's go to the tying desk here. So you take the quill, strip it off, and you can see right here you've got the dark side and the light side, but all that these you guys get my lighting right. All that the Polish quills are already stripped quills that are here we go. You can see here the different colors. That's just a section here.
And there's so many more colors than that.
Yeah, there's a ton of colors. But this right here is just this piece out of the eye of the peacock quill that's already been stripped and in a lot of cases have been dyed. So while I'm thinking about that,
and it's so fun because there's so many colors.
Nan, I can't believe you didn't get on me for not having my lights on, because Katie specifically got the colors so you would like them again. But it's just, I'm telling you, this has just been one of those weeks. But the good thing is I've got just about everything all lined up. So when we start actually tying, we'll be, there we go. So now we're looking better now.
So much
What's
better.
up, Ryan?
Nan, are you taking a break from writing your essay?
I'm so noticed. Well, Nan, I thought you said you weren't going to be on tonight, so I'm glad you got to hop on. So, as a quick review, the strip peacock quills you get in the bag are nothing but the eye of the peacock, where you've taken the one fiber off, and you're just wrapping with this one piece. You can use a pencil eraser, or you can use I can't remember the ratio, like 3 water, 1 bleach, maybe. But the bleach is kind of dangerous because if it's too strong, or if you leave it in the solution too long, these become really brittle. And these are pretty delicate, and that's one of the things I'm going to go over as well. So that is what the strip peacock quill is. So with that said, let's go ahead and start tying something. In the vise, I've got this, let's go back to the vise. I've got this Arex Freshwater 521 size 16. This is their new little clink hammer type hook, or a merger hook. That's really cool. This got a really light wire, and it has a nice straight top for the straight shank on the top for the thorax and the parachute post, or for whatever you want to do with it. And then a good deep bend for that body that's going to sink down in the film. So that's pretty good. What presentation do you recommend? Cool, Mike. Do you like it? I'm trying to think what else. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start my thread. Let's put my glasses on. Last time I forgot to do that and I couldn't see. So I'm going to use 12-aught nano silk starting off, and on this this hook, you've got to be careful not to. We'll start it off like this. You got to be careful where you start the thread because the hook is slippery and so is the thread. So we'll get it started right here in the bend, just like so. You want to switch back over to the vise, honey. There we go. I'm gonna cut this off, pushing that over. And we'll just catch my tag, bring it back, bring my thread back up to where we're right about there. So for the, I want to put a shuck on here, and I just have some sparkle or merger yarn. I think this is brown. This is just a random piece I had sitting on the desk, and we'll cut those ends off square, back it up, pinch wrap, put a few wraps in here, and I'll pull it to length, just about like that. And I'm going to bring it down and hold this on the top of the hook shank to roughly halfway down. And because I don't want to get down into the bottom part, because as we said before, that will affect the hookability of it. I'm gonna bring my thread back up, and I'm gonna go ahead and I like the shuck to be light or darker than the body. It just depends on what I'm doing. Most of the time, I had some sitting here. Most of the time for my shuck, I'll use this gray. I don't have any, but something like this, something like the gray, because I feel like that's just a good color to have on hand. This one, I'm just using a piece of the scrap because that's what I have. But on sulfur emergers, I don't like going with a rust on those, kind of keeping it a little more, little different. I think the fish like that a little more. So. Well,
how's Instagram doing? Are they?
Oh my goodness! Everyone on Instagram, what's up? Greg K, thanks for the thumbs up. Thank you, Katie, for the heads up on that. I'll zoom in Instagram so you guys can see. We'll move this down a little bit.
Gary Barnes, I've been using microglint.
Microglint works good. It's got a nice little sparkle to it. I like that as well. So good. That's a good addition there. And so with the Polish quill, unlike biots, obviously dubbing, unlike a lot of other materials, you're not going to build any taper with the quill itself. So you need to build all your taper with the thread. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm making sure my thread is laying pretty flat. And I already went down a couple times about here and then back up. So I'm going to go down a little bit deeper into the hook about there. Bring it back up. See how flat that thread's laying? That's perfect. And now we're going to bring it back down. I've already done this a few times back and forth, so I don't need to do it too many times more. And now I'm going to twist my bobbin so it'll be nice and flat on the maybe last way up. All right, so this one, let's do golden olive just for fun. So I'm going to take one quill out of here. Now, one thing that to keep in mind, and I'm surprised it hasn't been mentioned yet. There is a synthetic peacock quill that is hold out here. If I can find it. Here we go. So here's the synthetic peacock quills, and personally for me, for the larger flies, these are a good alternative. But most of the time, 14 is about as big as I'm going to tie. Usually, the ones we posted that yesterday and today was a 16 and an 18. So it was this same hook on a size 18. And when I start wrapping the synthetic quills, I feel like you get a better look on the natural quill because they're just a lot finer. It gives you a little more stuff to work with. And just not the bead. Ooh, Gary, you got a good answer or got a good question coming from Nan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the quill, and you can either run it through your mouth. I'm sure someone here will say it causes cancer, but no, it doesn't. Hand strip, no chemicals. But you just need to lightly wet it, lightly moisten it. And I'll take a Kelly Gallup trick that I learned from him, and I've got a sponge and a fly cup, and I just wet it down. And you can, if you're doing a whole bunch of them, that's what I'll do. But in this case, we're going to hopefully do 3, maybe 4 tonight. So I'm going to take my Polish quill. I'm going to cut this little fuzzy off. See that little bit here where it's fuzzy? I'm going to cut that off. And anyone that's on Instagram, if you can, hop over on YouTube. You will see quite a bit better and hear a little bit better and join the fun a little bit better, because I'll be actually looking at the comments over on YouTube instead of Instagram. So apologize if you all have been asking a question and I missed you. All right, so now that I've kind of moistened this, now I've seen a lot of people, they'll drop some oil on them so they can just kind of soak in the package, and that's fine. I just feel like it's going to get messy. This is just the way I've always done it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cross the quill with my thread. So right now the quills hold, the thread and quill are holding it together. I'm going to pull my quill up like this, and I'm going to come down, and with touching wraps, because I'm going to keep this body as smooth as I can, I'm going to bring this back up just like that. And if I want to work on my taper at all, now's my chance to go ahead and finish up that so it'll be just right, and making sure it stays nice and smooth. And that's just by twisting the damp paper towel for a few minutes. Yep. Steve, now the one thing that I have made the mistake of, because I've soaked mine before, and if you get them too wet, they're the opposite of brittle or soggy, so they end up falling apart that way. So, like I said, just for me, just run it through your mouth real quick, and you're done, no problem. So because I've got my hook down at this angle here, I don't have to put a half hitch or anything. I can just do this. I should have cut my shuck off, but I haven't. And I'm going to take some hackle pliers. You don't have to have hackle pliers, but it definitely helps. And this is going to be the one that I do that is just regular old quill. But doing this on a curved shank is just a touch more difficult. You don't have to have a rotary vise, but it allows me to, especially on the first few wraps, to get it right where I want it. And I just bring it up all the way. And you want the wraps to be touching. I do it with the dark edge going to the back. I feel like that's a little bit better on how it works. Now there will be a little bit of a gap on top as I turn this bend, and that's okay because my thread is black, and once I get the resin on there, it's just going to kind of come across like, it's just going to look like a regular old the quill. So I'm going to move my cradle out of the way, put a little loose wrap, and I'm going to bring it back again to capture that off. So now I've got my quill and everything captured, and I'm going to wrap a couple more. So I've got 4 total wraps on there, holding my thread tight. Cut this off. Now I can work my thread back forward. And now we're going to put our bobbin back in the vise. So we've got our quill wrapped. Doesn't take much time. Like cigarettes out of the toilet, can't keep them lit. Thanks, Steve. Steve, I must have missed the preview or the intro to that joke or what you're talking about with the cigarettes. But thanks for the thing. So now, typically what I'll do is I'll use a thin resin. So the Gulf Thin Man works really well. And you don't need much. Just put like a little, that's way too much there, believe it or not. So I've got 1 drop on there, and I'm going to take my bodkin. And this is really the part, if you've got any of those, if you remember, we cut off the hurl, the very, very tip of it, because that will, if you've got any stray fiber, if a piece of your thread or something sticking up right here, it will make your day not much fun.
Nope.
because it'll stick up in this resin and not look good. But I really don't think the trout are going to care too much. But there we go. So now we've got that covered. I got to get my light that's over here on the charger. Bring it over, let it sag. And I always use a little paper towel to wipe my bodkin off. I will hit this.
And you cleaned your desk tonight too, which is always
with
nice.
my new Christmas present.
I got John a very fancy special Christmas present. True love Christmas present.
True love. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Okay.
Princess Bride.
That's right. All right. So now that's all cooked up, ready to go. Let's go ahead and cut our shuck about like that.
Nan says marriage.
I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, I like the golf quite a bit. I'm actually about out of the thin and classic. I'm going to have to get some more.
Yes, Freddie. Freddie says great movie.
Well, I'm glad.
It is. It's a classic, great movie. They don't make them like that anymore.
Absolutely not. Okay, so I'm just going to, as Gary likes to say, I'm just going to bang this last part out.
Bang it out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Get her done.
You all tell some jokes while I bang this out.
Bang it out. Get her done.
There's going to be times like this that I'm willing to do different patterns, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over like this parachute post.
Mom Angler says inconceivable.
Just for example, inconceivable. Just for example, the parachute post. If there's something that you're like, hey, could you do a video on that technique? I'm happy to. And when you all ask, that will push me to actually do it. So I'm going to do my normal 3, 3, and 3. Although I lost count. You okay over there?
That was from when you turned the beep back on my GoPro. And I had it turned off. And then you turned it back on. And now anytime I'm like adjusting like settings, it makes a beep sound. And it's not only beeping, it's like super loud.
It's just a bit annoying. That is for sure.
A bit.
Anybody want to be? Okay, I'm trying to think of some more quotes from Princess Bride.
Inconceivable, says Mom Angler. Okay. I broke it.
That's what I get for. I'll go a couple more.
Dear GoPro, your buttons aren't the most awesomely designed. Sincerely, Katie DeMuth.
Okay. But I do have the a hackle feather that should work fine for right here. Laid out. How many of y'all love watching me go through hackle feathers trying to find the right one while we're live? It's a lot of fun. You're like, I don't care. We're here to watch Katie make fun of you.
They care.
So this is like the fun part of tying, just banging them out, right, Gary?
Somebody said, anybody have a peanut? Anybody want a peanut? Nailed it, Rowley. Katie is bleeping it out, and John is banging one out.
I just hope that beep's not right by the microphone. You guys are dying.
Well, I apologize for John.
Let's see. So what color are we going to use? We'll do I think I used the light brown. So I'm using K-Pock because it's awesome for small little thoraxes like that. Maybe floaty. Got a small little amount here. Might need a touch more, but we'll see. Flip this on here. This is, if you don't have these dispensers, or if you don't have at least some of your favorite colors of K-Pock like on your desk, this is a, I mean,
you should.
Yeah. Here's a nasty big chunk I just pulled off.
By the way, while he's pulling off chunks of nasty stuff, I just wanted to tell you, I wanted to share with you all about an upcoming fly tying event that you might like to go to.
Please do, honey.
So let me just tell you what it is. And it is the 22nd annual Virginia Fly Fishing and Wine Festival in Doswell, Virginia, next week, January 14th and 15th. And there's a website. So if you live in the area and want to go to a fly fishing festival and wine festival, then you should check it out. By the way, we're going to be there and we've never been to it before. So we're super excited and we're really appreciative to the folks over there who invited us and can't wait. Try something new.
Oh, this is going to be sweet. It's in Virginia. It's close. It's going to be a lot closer than a lot of the other shows we went to. And then we went to make the reservations. I'm like, oh, this is 6 hours away.
Gary.
Wine is amazing. Oh, it's great.
Oh,
that's
boy.
right, Trout Lord. You need to hop on a plane. We will pick you up.
Ken B says it's a bit too far for me. I understand, Ken. It might be just a little bit of a stretch for you to get there, but anytime there's something kind of near where we live, I like to shout it out because you never know. I like to support local stuff.
If you do come, though, the flies we're going to tie are this one. And we're going to tie one more, the one we tie next week, which is going to be a little micro jig streamer. Those are the two we're going to tie at the show. So I don't know if those of y'all that have hung out with me at shows, I like it when you all tie with me. So
I think somebody has a question.
Oh, I'm Gary's here. He can answer.
Borat K.
Yes, ma'am, sir.
Borat K has a question.
Okay.
Or no, Bolat.
Am I reading or am I?
Well, they just raise their hand.
Oh, yes.
Troutler says, booking flights now. Pick me up at the airport.
You got it. Tell us which airport to pick you up at.
Good luck. I hope your flight makes it.
Yeah.
My probation officer says I can't leave the state. Okay, sweet. Well, maybe if John comes and gets you, they'll be nice and let you have a day out.
Oh, I should have.
Chasing feathers, roe wine, every salmon fisher's favorite drink. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
All right, this one's the longest one in between ties that there is, I promise. All right, we got our Sally Hansen's in there around the base. That one's not going anywhere. And just going to cut this off. All right, to go. So we've got our nice little, I don't know about you, but I think my post might be just a touch long. There we go. So we got a nice little parachute.
Hi, Gary Hannah.
There we go.
Gary Hannah might go to the show.
Gary, what's up? You going to go with us to the Virginia show in a couple weeks? It's a short drive. So
just a little drive.
There's our first little quill body clink hammer here. So the polish quills can be used for about anything that you do a body on. So the next couple we're going to do, I'm going to use this jig hook from. No, I haven't fished this hook yet, but the guys over at Moonlit, we ordered some things from them. That's what John Christopher's brand new fishing setup, his new rod and reel and pack and everything. That's what he got for Christmas. So I decided we'd try out some of their beads and stuff, and these beads are awesome. Metallic blue. They've got all sorts of different colors. They come in really small sizes. Hey, Sergeant Bass Fisher. I think he should be about ready to go to the water. I saw you got a guitar recently, Joe. Hope that was a nice one, nice Christmas present. Let's see how on. But anyway, these beads are really cool. We're gonna be using these tomorrow, next week. We should have some cool discount stuff to get these different size beads. They come in down 2 millimeter up to 4 millimeter, all sorts of different colors. And what else? They're getting ready to come out with 1.5 millimeter slotted beads, which would be cool. and they're affordable, which is another big thing. So we're gonna go with the same nano silk. So this is just going to kind of be a no. We'll make this one fancy because Katie said she wanted a bunch of these, so we'll whip up one more for her.
I did say that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just getting my thread started, and I'm gonna bring it back to put a body on or put a tail on here. And the tail we use, this is pretty cool. We're going to use this pin tail. Right
I just
here.
love that blue bead.
So here's the pin tail. Here's the pin tail head. But this is one that that we got from Craig Matthews, one they shot just a little while ago. And I was wondering what I could use it for. And initially I was like, this will bless you.
It's making me sneeze. I
bless
turned my
you.
microphone off. It's making me sneeze.
I don't know if I've got any green apple, Gary. I'm hoping that I'm gonna get some of those soon. And you bought a new Fender Strat. Good grief! So I was thinking these would be cool for sulfur. So we're going to use that for a soft tackle.
Sounds awesome. Thank you, thank you, Keisha. She said, "Bless you." I almost didn't my finger was reaching for the mic to turn it off, and I was like, ah. That could have been loud.
Coulda. All right, so there we go. It's a little short, but might be a little late now. There we go. So we got our little tail in there. Nothing too fancy. Let's go and make sure it's lashed down. And then we're going to tie some wire in because this is something I think it is cool. It's definitely like an Instagram, like, oh, it looks neat because it does look pretty darn cool. And when it comes to like tying fancy flies like this, spending a little extra time on it, reality is when I'm on the water, I grab flies that I'm either confident in or flies that I think look good. And this one little extra step of putting a little piece of wire in there might maybe grab it, might make it get fished, which once it's fished, it dramatically increases the chances of catching fish.
Once you drop it in the water, your chances go way up.
Yep. So
way.
I'm gonna use this deep sea blue. And it's just so simple. There's a lot of people, once they figure it out, they'll start doing it a bunch. But just stick it in the slot on your side of the hook, bring it around, make sure it's locked in real nice. With that thread kind of flat. I'm not too worried about making the body just right quite yet. I do want that to come all the way down around. Now this trip up and down, we're going to build the build the taper. So I am going to kind of be a little more careful on making sure my thread's really flat, making sure that I've got a nice, even, see how nice and smooth and even that is. Now let's build taper. So I'll go down a little bit, back up, down a little bit more, back up, down a little more. And really, if the thread starts cording up on him, kind of okay until you to do that last wrap or two of thread. You don't need a huge taper, but we do want a little bit. So that's all you're doing now is watching me build a little bit of a taper. So we've got a little bit in there. That should be good enough once I go down and back one more time. So I'm going to uncord my thread. Make sure it's nice and flat. It kind of is. It can be better. There we go. So you see we're just doing touch and wraps. Now I'm going to grab that fluorescent yellow. Now the fluorescent yellow is really cool because this is not the case with all fluorescent materials, but with this, here's the fluorescent yellow. You can see the quills. When I hit them, I don't know if you can see that they're absolute glow. So here's the fly we posted right here. Let's zoom in. There you go. So here's the one we posted. And when I hit it with this, see how that yellow is just glowing. I don't know if you can see it on TV or not, but this should if fluorescent means anything to trout, this definitely means something. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab the peacock quill. And real quick, heads up to everyone on Instagram. If you're watching there, I would highly suggest you hop over on YouTube, see with multiple cameras and better quality, hopefully. It can't get much worse than we're looking at on Instagram, but it's not too bad. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to run it through my mouth.
You can kind of see the glow of the post. I've got the picture up, but it doesn't do it justice, I don't think.
No, I don't until you put that other on. So looking down on the hook, we've got the wire tied on the far side. So we've got wire tied on this side. And on the opposite side, on my side, I'm going to tie the quill in. So on the side, so I've got one, just got held in with one wrap of thread. I'm going to pull it up. Like I said, that dark strip goes to the rear. You want the dark side away from the bead. That's if you want to do it like me. If you want to do it like you, then hey, we'll knock yourself out. Now we're going to come over here and put my bobbin up there. And I like to just, before I start wrapping, I like to run my fingers up and down it like that so I can just get just a little bit wetter. Oh, someone wants to say hello. Well, what you doing, Misha? Oh, you like that? Misha loves the pintail. I think she just likes Craig Matthews stuff because she's already eaten one grouse from Craig Matthews, but she is not welcome to eat any more. She had one, and that's plenty, right?
Look at that wet nose.
Big old wet nose. All in all, she's a good dog when it comes to hanging out with fly tie materials because she could really get into a bunch of it, especially when I've been working with stuff like this recently. This is my newest hobby, is tying bigger flies. And I'm like, dude, usually I'm tying flies that are the size of the hook eye. This. Anyway, I'm going to lick my fingers real quick because I've been sitting here, run it through the quill. Oh man, sorry, I missed that. Katie was saying that's about John. Here's Johnny.
We're trading shining quotes.
Okay, so now we're going to bring it around. And because I'm going to run that wire through, I want there to be just, the hardest part about this is just leaving just a slight bit of a gap. Because we want that wire to sit in there. And like I said earlier, with this black nano silk underneath, the quills slide somewhat. Don't rely on, if you start sliding back and forth, they'll tear. But they do slide a little bit. And the exposed thread is going to it'll just look like the quill once you put the resin on. So we've got that done. So you can see how it looks now. It looks just fine. Like there, you can barely see a gap in there. But that's what that's where the wire's going to go. So if you see right by the bead right here, can you see that? There it is. You can see on top right here, see that one little piece of the quill where it split? That's fine. I'm just going to take my thread. I'm going to go around, make sure I've got it kind of flat because I want to capture that. There we go. Now we're good. Because if one of those splits or something happens here at the beginning of it, you almost have to just start all over. And on smaller flies, I'll get 2 or 3, or not 3. I'll get 2 flies out of one quill. So, all right. So we got that part done. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing. Put my bobbin back in the cradle. Grab my wire. Bring it. So right now it's on the hook, on the bare hook. So it's right between bare hook and the quill. And now I'll just try to have that first wrap go into that gap. And I just, once it's in there, just kind of Just kind of fits, kind of works. It's as easy as that to get a nice little blue wire rib or gold or silver or whatever. It just adds a nice little touch to it.
Hey, honey.
Oh, why is that not breaking off? Usually that 010, I've got to fight to make sure that it doesn't break.
Oh, you're blowing your coat.
Okay. Is she still doing that?
Around her neck, she is.
All right, so I'm going to use some ice dabbing. This is just like super bright yellow, although it's just listed as yellow. And I'm going to do
fascinated with trash
Oh,
cans.
heck, Gary? Where's Gary when I need him?
What'd you forget?
Oh, I haven't forgotten either. I almost forgot to put the resin on.
You forgot the legs.
Almost. What are you guys doing over there?
She's fascinated with this trash can, and she's always sticking her head in it. So.
Well.
Come on.
All right. So, and once we get done with this one, I'm going to go over another trick because I know everyone doesn't have a bunch of Polish quills sitting around or strip peacock quills because right now they're really hard to find. And for no other reason, they're not cheap. I won't say it's definitely worth every penny you spend on them, but they're consistent. They look nice. If you want to use them, I think they're like $6 or so a pack. So you can really see that. See how that blows up right there in that with UV light? It's pretty cool. I'm trying to type up and are you forgetting something? Yeah, I was. All right. So grab this dubbing and we'll just, these fibers are really long. So this is probably 8 total fibers. So like people ask a lot of times, how do you get that noodle so tight? That is 8 total fibers. And now I'm going to leave a little room for soft hackle. Bring this back. So now I've got that done. Okay, so we'll do one more quick trick. If I can find it. Here it is. Here's the other pintail. So this is actually a little bit bigger than some of the other ones, but it's really hard to find. And this is relatively a big fly for me. This is size 14. And you see this feather is way too big for this fly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these down. So I got my tips lined up. See how the tips are kind of lined up? I'm going to clip it in like so. I just want to do a quick little measurement, and that looks about right. So I take my scissors and cut it off. So now I've got the I've got that pintail in my trim that fiber. Which fiber? Oh gosh, Gary. You're like Katie just stepped out, so I'm glad that you stepped in her absence. There we go. Oh man. There we go. Oh, hope this is as fun for you guys as it is for. That was just stuck there. There we go. Now Katie's gonna be happy. You're happy. We're all good. Okay, so we got the pintail in our clip here. Now you want to yeah. The light's so darn bright. Okay. You want to put it in like this and upside down. So the fibers are going the right way. If you don't, that step's not a big deal. Yet another tying tutorial thing we could do for the old YouTube. How to take forever splitting thread. The nano silk is super easy to split. Except for once in a blue moon, and you're just like, oh man. There we go. I swear I did it backwards. So I might mess this up. There we go. Okay, so I wanted it upside down the way I'm looking at it now. So you see how, like, when you're looking at it there, we're looking at the upside down side. So when I wrap it forward, it's going to be correct. So I can just take this. We'll do a little adjustment here. Make sure it's good. I think I'm a little bit long, so you guys just hurry up and finish. Okay. Now we'll do a little twist on our bobbin. Try splitting 24. Yeah. Yes, the 24-aught is a blast to split. That's what I'm saying. Normally 12-aught is super easy to split. It gets really flat, and I've got no issue splitting it. But try splitting it when you're looking at this light right here, right in your face, and you got the weird lighting all around you. Although I'm getting a little bit better, a little more used to tying with this live setup here. So I'm just trying to get the fibers kind of separated here, so they're going to wrap nicely. Like this. Okay. It should just be almost one full wrap or so. It's not going to be like a whole bunch. There we go. So you can see all that, just a little over one wrap of thread. Now, I don't like how these butts look, so I'll put just a little bit of this. I'm going to break this up because I will literally just want a teeny bit. A lot more than that. Just for like one good wrap. So you see a little bit of yellow there. So there you go. See a little bit. Cool. All right, we'll call this done. Might want a little bit more of that yellow in the front, but I've got the yellow behind it, so I don't need it. Put our glue on there. Find our whip finisher that's somewhere around here. So that trick on the wire, it's simple. It's a lot simpler than it looks anyway when you see pictures of people doing it. Saw tackle, we don't have much on there, just one good turn. I've saw tackle, so I don't want to slow the sink rate too much. You can kind of see it right here. The tail's gonna be nice and flowy. This is gonna be a good swing and fly. Or what the, I don't know what the butterfly was. Yeah, tell us. What's up, Eli? Fancy seeing you hopping on here. So we've got a nice little quill fly here. So let's pretend just for a second like you're one of the many guys out there. They're like me a long time ago, or not a long time, not that long ago. And I didn't have any peacock quills, and you don't have any peacock subs. You're like, dadgummit, am I the only one that doesn't have this stuff? No, you're not. And that's one thing with our little Whip Finish Wednesday show. We encourage everyone to tie up and play and do the best you can with what you've got. There's no need for you to go out and get fancy this or that. And I'd rather you do something and tie it up and post it and show what you got, because that's what it's all about. So I'm going to take the same hook, same bead. I think, Gary, I do have some of the Applebee's. Gary, I ordered something from him a few months ago, well, maybe a year ago now. And he had some extra of these really nice, he thought Katie would like seeing them, these nice purple moonlit beads. And now I've got a, shoot, I can't get this arm straight. All right, probably good. I've got some here, I think. Yeah, metallic purple. So Gary sent me a pack of these metallic purple with the order. And We ordered these just recently, but the it came with one bead in them because the bag opened up and the box opened up as well. So when I opened up and I pulled out the stuff that we'd ordered, and I was like, "Oh, cool! He sent a pack of beads, and there's one bead on it." And I called Gary. I was like, "Dude, what the heck? What are you doing sending me one bead, a pack with one bead in it?" He's like, "Dude, that was full." I'm like, "Well, it might have been full when you first sent it, but it was not. It was not full when I got it. It wasn't like, well, like there's 10 beads in the box or anything. It was empty. It was empty. Okay, so now we're gonna pretend like we're gonna tie a perdigon. Nothing fancy. We're going to grab our olive thread. I've got some Cote de Leon in here, and we'll do a small little clump. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I tie my tails a little shorter than a lot of people do. But that's too long for me. I want my tail to be roughly the length of the shank that's exposed. So you want to put it back on the vise, honey? Perfect. So that's about right. Maybe a touch on the long side. We'll leave it there for now. And I'm going to give my thread a quick twist. So this is our trick for if you don't have peacock quills. And you're like, I really want to do something. So I'm just going to, we're just doing a normal thing here. Cut this off. Now that nice little thing of simplified nano silk we were using just now. Make sure my thread's somewhat flat. I'm going to take it. I've got our spool. I switched without telling you all. I switched to classic wax thread and pale olive. So, because I know you guys can read upside down. 12-aught classic wax thread, pale olive. Oh, everyone on Instagram, thank you so much for joining us. We would love to see you hop over on YouTube so we can see all your comments and chat with you. So, clear thread. Man, it's called Fish and Line. They got the clear stuff at the Fish and Line store. Saw the humor in that, Gary. Who are you? Is Gary saying poking fun? Or are you guys having a sidebar conversation? Okay, so we've got our nano silk here that we used earlier, just the black 12-aught. Grab it, pulled it around, captured in one wrap. If you want to, you can put 2 or 3 wraps in here. Doesn't matter. We don't want it to tie in a knot though.
Gary said that a guy bugged him for months wanting some clear thread. And so finally he sent him an empty spool.
Oh. Gary, you're mean.
No, Gary, he wanted the clear thread. He wanted the clear thread, not the invisible thread. By the way, can we have a spool that invisible thread too?
Oh, honey.
I heard it works really well when you're fake fishing. Pretend fishing.
I'm having a hard time here now. Okay. So I'm trying my best to capture this in. There we go. So all I'm doing is capturing the nano silk in here. And we've got it in here nice. I'll hook it over my material clip here. And now we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're just going to build a little taper because right now that's it. That's all the taper we've got. So we'll uncord our thing to classic EP and made us all by a spool of clear thread at tie sides. Yep. That's Gunner Brommer ties mostly with mono thread. I've got a couple spools of it. Like in all seriousness, I've got a couple spools of it. I have not tied much with it, so I can't be much value. I'm telling you, oh, what the heck happened to my... Oh, and now I'm trying out. I really like this. You guys have seen me for a long time using the double-armed Tiemco bobbin. I thought, what the heck? And I was ordering some. I'm a lucky dude. I get to order Christmas presents from Umpqua for Katie. So I was ordering some Christmas presents, and I was like, I'm gonna order a from me to me Christmas present. So I've got the single arm bobbin from Umpqua.
Ooh.
I don't think Katie knew that though. Just now.
I didn't. Good job. Happy Christmas to you.
and that's pretty good. I like it. All right, so we've got our little bit of taper here. I can go a little more for one too, but it doesn't matter which way you go. And we're going to do this a few times. So the first time, always a mono thread. Was that not what the guy was talking about? Was mono thread, or is he talking about like?
Probably it was just all a joke. It was all just like being funny.
Okay, so I want to show you how this looks. I'm going to cord up the zebra fly, and we're just going to go like this. So even wraps. There we go. So you can see I've got my thread that I've messed up a little bit, but you can see that that looks okay. What I like to do is find. I guess we'll do it the other extreme. Take that off of there because I know I'm driving Gary. I'm driving me crazy with this one string because I can't even see it. I just got to deal with it for now. So I'm going to uncord my thread now. Let's get it really uncorded. There we go. So now we'll bring it up. Can you see a difference here? So see how it looks a little different? Same thread, just difference between corded and uncorded. So what I like to do is somewhere in between. So I'm just going to cord it up just a little bit, a whole bunch. Because I feel like it corded up, it's too much. It uncorded, it's too much. But just slightly like that, I think that looks pretty good. And so that's all you have to do. Just two colors of thread. That it doesn't have to be the nano silk, but two colors of thread that are contrasting colors, and you can make your own. Make your own little, and this is called, someone help me, mil spec. The first, you're just trying to get me in trouble, aren't you? This is probably going to cut. Watch this, my tail's gonna be gone. Ah, see, Gary. Ha, everyone laugh. Ha 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 ha. And now my lighter didn't work anymore. I mean, I can fix it. If my lighter will come on, my tail stays. This is what I get for not.
That's a fancy lighter.
Dude, this lighter has been with me for years, man. Well, I think I got most of it. Oh, did it go? At least my tail is still on it. There we go. And my tail's gone. Ah, all that. So, look at that, Gary. We're out of time. Gosh darn. So I was just going to throw didn't see that coming. Oh, I saw that coming. Silky is a good fake quilt material. Yeah. And the thing is, when you do it this way with thread, you can pretend like you can throw wire right there with it. You can put some of the Perdigon tinsel with it, sulky material with it. Do lots of the cool things, but the key is to use two different colors or two opposite colors, so black and a light color. If you did like a chocolate brown and a black, it's gonna be hard to see the segmentation. And even with the natural quills, like this brown, if you want to look right in that one, the tying desk, Katie, if you want to switch to the tying desk, there you go. The brown, that one, you want to wrap it and put resin and stuff on it, the segmentation doesn't show up real good, so I won't use that too much. But these are all different colors here. Actually, there's some multiples in there, but I'm trying to find a good source for. I need to get some naturals and olives. About out of that. Burn it all. May as well. Segmentation. Yes. So you want the contrasting colors, like this black and the pale olive, to give you the good segmentation. You can add the wire. You can sorry, so you can see it. You can add the wire to add to the segmentation. You can have the wire and the thread and Perdigon tinsel if you've got room. Just however you I meant to. What I do for stripping quills is easy. Um, what do you do for stripping quills? Well, Eli, you can tell us. I went over a few things initially on how people strip their own, but now I can't find it. So I don't know if Eli uses the bleach solution or the pencil eraser solution, or he's got a new one that we can share. But if you want to, I'd love to hear it, Eli. And you can, if you got something and tag us, we'll share it as well. Strip and dye. Nope, too lazy. If you're doing a bunch of them and you can sit down and strip some, then great. If you're like me and you're going to tie a dozen or so and then you're done, it is, from what I've heard anyway, it is a bit of a hassle. And I think I've got one here since Katie will do some fun music while I'm looking. I've got one that's like a whole eye that is stripped. I should have been more prepared. But it's Thursday night, guys. I'm all out of whack because I don't know what to do. I do a big old wax, then strip the waxing. I've never seen that one. Well, you use wax, like you dip them in wax and strip the wax off. That is like melted can. That's a new one. I'll do a couple hundred for me. But I know that I ordered some, about 15 packs from Europe 2 months ago. They were turned back, and the place I ordered from said we're not going to ship them anymore to the United States. So I know that there are places that do have them. There are fly shops that do have them. I think Big T Fly Fishing, River on the Soakway Outfitters, they've got them. But I don't know if Moonlit has them or not. But Jay Sockert, I think, has them. But anyway, they're getting harder and harder to find. So with that said, we showed the pictures of the poison tongues from last week. We showed the fish that we caught. If you caught the Patrick, I think, whoever caught that fish, if you want to tag us in the picture, we'd love to share it because there's been at least two separate people that caught a fish on the poison tongue. That is one of them.
You're welcome, guys.
And we'll share.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ordered some direct from Polish.
I'm so excited and proud of you guys for time.
The guy who has some, I forgot a guy, but boiling water, put a plate on top of tin foil, use white candle wax and melt it, then dip the quill in it and squeegee. You'll have to show us that. So guys, thank you so much. Not this coming weekend, but next weekend, Katie heads up the Virginia Fly Fishing and Wine Festival. Hopefully we'll get to see some of you all. If you're coming, shoot us a message. We'll maybe we'll have a few extra goodies for you if you stop by and say hey. Apologize once again for not being live last night, but it looks like we've had a pretty good crowd tonight. Hopefully you learned something. Use hashtag Whitfinish Wednesday, tie whatever quill body or whatever the other kind. The Fly Fish Food guys, mil spec body. The good thing about the mil spec body is it's bomb proof. You're not going to tear it up unless you put a torch underneath it, Gary. So thanks, Eli. Yeah, definitely. We will be in Edison. We're coming into Denver in June, and we're actually going to fish as opposed to coming out there when it's freezing cold. But guys, we love hearing from you. Thank you so much, and thank you very much for all the comments we got from everyone last night. That meant a lot to me and Katie. And until next week, stay fishy.
Guys, I'm so proud of your poison tongues. They were so awesome. Have a great weekend.
See you guys. And everyone on Instagram, how you doing? We are doing well. Hopefully you can, we're signing off of YouTube now, but come